Carlos Alcaraz versus Arthur Fils in the 2025 Monte Carlo Masters quarter-final. We're going to get into it. I'll be giving you guys my prediction, breaking it down tactically, and also talking about how they've been looking. The head-to-head is 0-0. They've never played before on the ATP Tour, so it should be an interesting matchup. Before we get into it though, remember that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and do leave a rating and review if you are listening on a podcast platform. Shout out to our members on YouTube as well. Thank you for contributing. Okay, so Arthur Fils has looked pretty good in Monte Carlo. Just dropped the one set so far. Beat Talon Griekspoor in the first round. Then Kaboli, who's been playing some decent tennis in the last couple of weeks. And then Andrei Rublev, who has won this title even in 2023. He comes up against a pretty informed Carlos Alcaraz, I would say, and informed from this tournament specifically. He's only played the 2 matches, but he's looked quite good. Coming into Monte Carlo this year, he'd never won a match at the tournament. He lost to Sebastian Korda in the first round or second round in the past, so that was the first match he played, and then he's missed the tournament a number of times due to injury, etc. as well. So lost to Francisco Cerundolo he beat Francisco Cerundolo in his first match, beating him in 3 sets, and then beat Daniel Altmaier in straight sets. 2 pretty good wins. The win against Cerundolo was an interesting one. He lost the first set 6-3, and then he won the next 2 sets 6-love, 6-1. So that clearly awoke something within him, where he just thought, look, I need to step it up, I need to get through the gears, and he did exactly that. So how does this one play out? Well, given they've never played before, it's difficult to really pinpoint exactly what will happen, but I think from my point of view on the surface, I think Alcaraz has an edge. I actually think if the courts were quicker, Fils might be able to cause Alcaraz more issues. I think on a hard court or a grass court even potentially, but actually on a clay court, even on the red dirt, I feel like Alcaraz has the edge in movement, which is a big thing I think on clay. And I also think the fact that he's able to hit more forehands on this surface is a big plus. And it's a big plus for Arthur Fils as well, because despite both players having solid backhands, their forehand wing is where they can really cause maximum damage. One thing that Arthur Fils has in his locker is a very good in-to-end forehand. And that's similar to, I would say, in Carlos Alcaraz's ability on that specific shot as well. I think that's a shot that both players execute really well. It's a very important shot on clay, and both players are able to exert a lot of topspin onto the ball, which is going to put them in good stead come this clay court tournament in Monte Carlo, and also for the rest of the clay court swing. I think the biggest issue for me is that I'm not really seeing how Arthur Fils will really hurt Alcaraz. Serve, as we've seen, is not as potent on clay, so returning becomes a lot more important. And also, just the +1, +2 plays on clay are just so key and pivotal to the momentum in these matches. Alcaraz utilised the drop shot really well in not just this tournament, but generally on clay. It's such a good tool and weapon to use as a change-up, and players are, generally speaking, positionally a lot further back during rallies than they would be on other surfaces because of the higher bouncing, slower courts, and that then opens up the forecourt a lot. Arthur Fils has got great hands, very athletic. He's a pretty natural ball striker, I would say, especially with the forehand side. Serving-wise, I think there's some improvements to be made, but the same can be said for Alcaraz. Both have solid kick serves. I think Alcaraz's kick serve is very good. And then on return, both players are able to, I think, return quite effectively and get themselves into good positions on the opponent's serve. In the forehand to forehand, I think you have to edge it towards Alcaraz, although We have seen Alcaraz have off days on the forehand side, so if that does happen, I think Fils will be able to really take advantage of it. Backhand to backhand, Fis's backhand is serviceable, and there is some work to be done on Alcaraz, but I still think Alcaraz would boss that exchange. If I'm being honest, I think Arthur Fils in this matchup needs to be quite smart in how he approaches it. He needs to be patient. It's clay, it's a slower surface. He needs to try and build the point and ensure that whilst he's building it, he's still got the momentum in the point to really dictate how it's going to play out, rather than having Alcaraz be the one dictate. Coming forward is an interesting one to the net, because on clay, you've got more time to come forward to the net, but it also means that more likely than not, the approach that you've hit is going to be a lot slower than it would be on any other surface. Sat up nicer, and it probably means your next volley is going to be a little bit harder than it would be on other surfaces. So, that's why you see quite a few players being quite tentative at times to come forward to the net. Arthur Fils also has a very good drop shot, so I'm sure we'll see a drop shot exhibition. And I think for me, he needs to try and utilise. He's got a high topspin game, especially on the forehand side. He needs to be finding those short angles, really trying to just mix it up against Alcaraz. He doesn't feel comfortable, I think, is the biggest thing for me. And actually what's interesting is that is exactly what a lot of players say about Carlos Alcaraz, that he doesn't give you the same ball twice. So he could potentially hit a very loopy, high topspin forehand. The next one can be flatter, 105 mile per hour winner. So he's got that variety in his bag with him at shot selection. With Arthur Fils, I think he needs to max out here potentially if Alcaraz is playing anywhere close to the level that he's been playing this week so far anyway. Prediction wise, I'm going to go with Carlos Alcaraz in 3 sets. Let me know in the comment section below what you think and why. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well. We'll see you in the next video.